Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. We're going to do a special selection to finish off the day. This one comes at us from Christopher Rojas. It says, Holy Fawn, Blood Pact. Short and to the point. Let's get into this one. See what Holy Fawn has in store for us today. Yeah, right off the bat, just hyper atmospheric, really digging into the specific emotion. Really great production as well. I like the very sparse drumming. We have nothing on 1, we have a double hit on 2, a double hit on 3, and a single hit on 4, and that's really about it. I like how the ambient chordal line has shifted down a couple octaves in that previous section. A little bit of variation on that idea. I like the very subtle strings that are going on underneath this held out drone. Yeah, and not only do we have a wider atmosphere with more instruments, but we're also seeing expansion on that same drum idea, the percussive idea we had earlier. Once again, just really strong production in this section. Interesting twist there at the end of the video. I noticed that there is this undermining of the visual assumption in the video where everything up to a point we have just understood that we were seeing this video through the lens of a camera. That's one of those things that we've just learned to understand as part of the cinematic language, that just because we're viewing these events does not mean that there is an actual camera there. And I thought it was very interesting after the murder had happened and the camera panned down the body and looked at the murderer. He held his hand up to stop the flash, or to shield his eyes, or to block his face or something. He acknowledged the camera's existence. It was the first time in the video. And it's a very interesting tool there as far as storytelling, because like I mentioned, up until that point, it really wasn't acknowledged that there was a third party to this incident. Everything up to that point had been the non-existent camera idea of having the filmography camera there to capture the moment for the video, but not necessarily something in world, not a diegetic camera in a sense. And yeah, and then of course having it zoom out of the television to imply that it was all recorded and viewed on device in world of the video. Very cool. Very interesting twist there. But I have no idea what the music video meant. I just thought that was a really cool thing with the way of going against the perceptions of the viewer, and doing something interesting with the language of cinema there. All right, so let's talk about the music, though. We're not here to dissect a music video. We're here to dissect some music. And yeah, this one was cool. It's well, much like the video we just checked out from Explosions in the Sky, it's a slow burn based off of a very similar-ish foundational idea that it goes throughout the entire song. It's very interesting how many videos, or how many of the special selections this week have kind of lined up with what we're doing in the theme. Quite peculiar, actually. So what we have going on here is this basic ambient idea that persists throughout the first half of the song. It's extremely isolated. It's quiet. It's somber. There's almost a dreamlike quality to a lot of it. And even the vocals tie into this a bit with being very relaxed, being a bit higher in pitch, possibly maybe a head voice, falsetto, maybe a mix of head and chest. And it has reverb on it, and it's double tracked, and it's given all this width, and that kind of moves into, or amplifies this idea of the dreamlike state that a lot of this song at the beginning is working within. we have these long drone uh, tones going on in some sort of electronic aspect, and then we have these very sparse drums that aren't there at the beginning but do show up about halfway through the first section of the song, and that pretty much wraps everything up for that first half. Um, it's sparse, it's isolating, it's dreamlike, it's almost ethereal in a way. Um, but I suppose ethereal and dreamlike can sort of be mixed. They're both very similar in idea, especially when we're talking about musical tone and musical theme, what kind of atmosphere we're building. They're very similar in that regard. Um, but we really stick with this idea, and I figured the whole song was going to be this concept, especially given how long we stuck with it. And I was a little taken off guard given that I thought Holy Fawn was a heavier band, and this was a very interesting start to the song. It really caught me off guard there. The production for the opening segment, it is if there's any live instruments in it, I would be quite surprised. I could imagine a keyboard for the drone, because you could easily patch that through some sort of virtual instrument and get that sound out of it. Um, and I'm not saying none of it could have been played. Obviously, even the drum part could have been played on a keyboard or, um, some sort of sample pad. I don't know what those things are called, where they got the little squares and you can like you apply like a sample to a button, you push the button, and I mean, there's definitely ways to play electronic music physically. But as far as traditional instruments go, I don't hear any in this opening, which again caught me off guard. I really figured that this was some sort of rock band. I know we've checked out at least one Holy Fawn song before. Maybe. Oh yeah, what is this one called? Oh, this was during Shoegaze week. We checked out Darkstone. Shoegaze. It's weird. I don't even remember what shoegaze is. I'd have to go back and listen to a couple of songs. Maybe that was one of the themes that I didn't really find anything that tied everything together in a way that I could file it away. Look for these specific elements for this genre kind of uh, categorization. Anyways, let's get back to this. Um, So yeah, we have all these electronic elements, which caught me off guard. Was not expecting that. It's kind of laid back. There's not a lot of drive or energy to it. It has all this strong ambiance that creates this dreamlike environment to the entire song, and we really sit in this idea. And at this point, even up to about the halfway point of the song, I really had no idea what I was going to do with this analysis, because the song at this point had been one very simple idea, and it executes it very well. The production value is off the charts. I love the way that they're layering the drone with some of the ambient tones and sounds, and the way that that is paired and mixed against the vocals and all the production on the vocal. I mentioned it sounds double tracked. I think there's some reverb on it. It definitely sounds dreamlike or ethereal, some sort of it has elements to it that are not what we typically apply to standard vocals to create a normal sounding song. And by normal sounding, I mean in a sense of like in this plane. It definitely feels in a supernatural element, dream state, or another plane of existence, something along those lines. But past the strong production and the great atmospheric work, I was really concerned. I was like, I don't feel like there's enough meat on this song to put a strong analysis together. And then the second half of the song kicks in, and wow. Wow, indeed. This was a slow burn that I think really worked. And I think that's because the opening half doesn't feel like it meanders, at least to me. And it might be some of the pop aesthetics of it. It is very palatable vocals with a very chill electronic part behind it. And it's not moving. Well, maybe pop's wrong. Maybe electronica would be better. Electronica with pop style vocals. Is that a good description of that? But the vocals kind of keep the opening going. And then we reach the middle part, and things start to pick up energy. We get some more complex rhythmic elements. We introduce some new timbres. We introduce some new melodic lines, harmonic lines, some more atmospheric work. And we really start to build this song layer by layer. And we can start to see where this dreamlike, calm song is slowly becoming into something a bit more dangerous, a bit more chaotic, a bit harsher. And it's this subtle evolution over the next minute or two until we hit the climax of the song, which is where the distorted guitar comes in, I think. The vocals switch to a harsh style. I think it's a fry scream. Um, we have the drums. I love this. The drums take that idea that they were utilizing, emphasizing two, or actually only playing on beats 2, 3, and 4, emphasizing beat 3. No, emphasizing beat. Yeah, 2 is a snare hit, sometimes 2 snare hits. 3 is the cymbals, so they're not emphasized, they're just there. And then 4, we return back to the snare. So 2 and 4, we're taking that core concept, but we're building a more complex drum pattern around it. That core rhythmic idea, that dun dun, tss, dun, that is still found in the final drums pattern during the climax. It is just massively developed. And unlike the rest of the song, where we got to slowly and steadily see the growth and move with it and see each layer getting stacked on top to create this chaotic, darker element, the drums, I believe, just switch. We were doing the lighter atmospheric stuff, now we're doing the more complicated pattern. And I think it's very interesting to see that as a switch being flipped, because the music video, at least to me, showcases that element. There is still this rising tension in the music video. However, to me, the switch from what is this video about to, oh, this guy's murdering some dude was immediate. I don't remember the build-up in the video showcasing the bridge between these two elements. So, again, as usual, I could be reading into things. I could be, applying an interpretation where maybe it was not necessarily there in the intention of the creators, but it's what I got out of the song. And I think it's really cool just to see that a lot of the song is this gradual growth, but there is this one element in the music that is just like a switch being flipped. We were in one state, now we're in the next. Because that is one of the feelings I felt watching the music video alongside the song itself. The atmosphere, though, in this final section has completely shifted. It is chaotic, it is dark, it's no longer ambient, it's really full of anger and wrath. There's no distance between the instruments, everything's kind of pushed together. I don't know if that's just because of how cramped it is, how many instruments and are being crammed into this space where we originally had just 3, now we have more. I don't know if it has to do with compression. Maybe they really pulled down the sound sphere and tightened it up so that we can get this wall of sound effect. It's definitely not sparse and isolating anymore. It feels incredibly cluttered. And like I said, everything's really brought together. If you go back to the opening section and you listen to how the production is on the drums and the drone and the vocals, uh, you'll hear a lot of space between them. Some of it's panning, some of it's just the way that the equalizer set up. I'm sure there's other tricks engineers can do to create a sense of space between instruments, but that is completely gone. It feels like all the instruments are compressed into a single idea there at the end. And it's this interesting cohesion of thought. Um, which saying that out loud sounds kind of weird, but at the beginning, I want to say it's disconnected, but it does feel like three different elements all coming together to do something, but they're not quite like I mentioned. They're very far apart distance wise. They all seem to be doing their own things. They're all in isolation, but they're at the end. It doesn't feel like separate ideas coming together. It feels like a singular idea. And this could be whatever the bloodlust is or whatever that caused the dude to commit murder, but it's this singular focus. Um, and I don't know. I think it lines up with the music video pretty well. But again, I'm not too sure what the story is in the music video. I'm not sure if it is this nagging need to murder someone and kind of fighting it off and having it slowly take over, uh, some sort of serial killer kind of idea, or what. But the song has this constant growth that slowly refines itself into a singular idea of this outburst of energy. So, yeah, I can see some parallels going on here between the visuals and the music, even though it's not multimedia theme per se. This is a special selection, but I'm kind of in that mindset, having just looked at explosions in the sky, and this week really honing my ability to translate visual and auditory cues into cohesive ideas. So I'm still in that mind frame, that mindset. So I'm trying to apply it here as well. The music, though, unlike some of the multimedia stuff, especially earlier today's Explosion in the Sky, I think this one stands on its own. But I also think some of that is just due to the fact that the song has a bit more movement, has more parts to it than Explosions in the Sky. And just, it might be the vocals, maybe it's just a lead melody, a lead hook of any kind. Doesn't necessarily need to be vocals per se, but something to carry the song through. That at least this one doesn't lend itself to me to feel like a score or a soundtrack to a multimedia work, whereas Explosions in the Sky's postcards did. That one certainly feels to me more soundtracky, more score-like. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Holy Fawn's Blood Pact. Very interesting work. This is the kind of slow burn post rock stuff I can get behind, because I feel like you can enjoy it without getting lost in it. And that might be counterintuitive to post rock. I mean, pretty much everybody who's ever, told me that they really love post rock has always been, you got to feel it, you got to get into it. And that's counterintuitive to what I do on the channel. It's something I would do more casually. And maybe I would enjoy post rock more casually if I, gave it a shot. I probably should do that. Not listen to post rock for the video or for an analysis. Just check it out on my own time. But anyways, this one though, like I said, it has a bit of direction to it. It's a bit on the shorter side. We have 3 areas of the song that fit in within 6 minutes. So we each, on average, we have 2 minutes per section, which is not a long time to sit inside of a feeling or sit inside of an atmosphere like post rock typically does. So the song feels like it moves, and it's more like a medium burn, not a slow burn. It's a medium burn, and maybe that's why I enjoy it more. I don't know. I could see myself checking this out and more like this on my own time, more so than most of the other post-rock we've checked out, just because those tend to sit within their environments, their atmospheres that they built longer. All right, those are my thoughts though on Holy Fawn's Blood Pact. This is where you guys come in though. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed this one or not. If you know anything about the song, have any context about it, or you have an idea, maybe an interpretation of your own, hit me up in the comments. Let me know. I'm always open to conversation. I don't pretend that I am a definitive source of knowing exactly what music means. Everybody's interpretation is valid, including the creators. I'm always open to hearing more about all of them, whether it's yours or the people who made it. Above the comments is a description box. In there is a link for Linktree, which is a menu. It's a fantastic resource. It takes you to everything related to the channel. If you ever wanted to follow me on Twitter, join a Discord community, support me through Patreon, submit your own special selection, all of them can be found in Linktree. I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC. We'll be finishing up this week's videos. We'll check out our final multimedia song, and then we will look at a song from a band who's contacted me and would like me to feature one of their songs on the channel. All right, until next time, remember, be critical but not cynical of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.